Welcome to Own the Chaos.
Chaos Crew.
The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And then there's the Kronos Group. Yes, people, how could I not have a pot stock on this list?
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
All right, we got the top stocks to buy if Kanye wins the presidency.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
That is crazy.
We have a nice super boner, quite a
Holy
lovely
hell.
green one.
Over $31.
We have a nice super boner.
What up, Chaos Crew? What up, everybody else? It's Stock Watch Sunday. You know what time it is. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when we go live every Sunday at this time of the week. And we are going over our top stocks to watch this week. Also getting to your guys' questions. It's my favorite time of the week because I get to connect with you guys the most. Fat Man Zoom, we got a really exciting week coming up this week, and I am here for it. Are you?
I am, but I think there's a 50-50 chance they'll be able to hear me right now because I can't hear them.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on with the audio today. You don't change a damn thing, and then all of a sudden things get changed, and I have no idea what happened.
I just want to double check they can hear me. I don't mean to just throw a wrench in this thing, but before I get all crazy, can you guys hear me?
Give us a yes or no, I guess.
Or just give us a like.
Yeah, that'll work. Likes work too.
All right. I'm going to presume they can hear us. And then if not, we'll find out soon enough. Yeah, man, Sunday's here. I'm looking forward to our top 5 stocks. I think we're going to have some good info. People are already chattering about what's going on in the market. I feel good. I couldn't do my Sunday lip sync, but I'll do it afterwards.
I also see some chattering about Lamar Jackson. You all need to lay the F off of Lamar Jackson. It was the whole team sucked. The whole team sucked, and we're without some players, and it was a bad game.
I got nothing to say.
It was a bad. It wasn't just Lamar that sucked, though. It was everybody that sucked.
I thought Mark Andrews did pretty good. That's just me.
I mean, and J.K.
Brown guy, they need to do something about him though.
J.K. Dobbins did well, but the defense can't tackle, and the defense is missing a bunch of big All-Pro front guys. So it's just a tough time to be a Ravens fan.
Oh man. All right, let's get into some more important stuff.
Let's do it. Looks like everybody can hear us okay, so we're good.
Yeah. Let's jump right in, man. Let's get this going because I want to get everybody's questions.
Yeah.
Top 5 stocks this week. What do we got?
Yeah, man. So we're just going to jump right into it. All right, that's cool. I mean, we're not going to talk about market at all. We'll just go right into it. That's fine. The first stock that I'm watching this week is Dick's. For fuck's sake, man, what is going on right now?
Sorry, we're watching Dick's.
Yeah.
We can rewind. Go back,
Jesus.
Go back again.
We just... God, speaking of not being on point today. All right, so let's just go ahead and do this. So we have the stock market. It's a short week. What do we expect during Thanksgiving week as a whole? Typically, in my experience trading, Thanksgiving week is pretty slow. But it also lends itself to some really good opportunities. We do have a Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. And so those are going to be some really good opportunities, I think, especially in the e-commerce side of things, and really look at some areas that maybe kind of have been neglected in the market and try to see some of those opportunities during a slow week. So don't expect any kind of fireworks unless something crazy happens as far as, I don't know, the economy or maybe even the vaccine. We might see some movement, but I wouldn't expect any kind of crazy movement out of the market this week because traditionally, usually your big institutional investors, that sort of thing, they end up kind of taking the whole week off and not really engaging in too much trading activity overall.
Yeah, I would agree. So what 5 stocks are we looking at this week?
Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I feel like I say every week will be interesting, but it's just every week without with all the uncertainty going on, it's like, okay, what's this week going to look like?
Yeah.
You know, people already in the comments are mentioning the emergency approval for the vaccine.
Yep.
Stimulus, starting to see a little bit of rumblings of stimulus, contested election. And so it's just like, come on, man. It's just Monday is key to kind of determine where the week goes. So it's a little bit tougher to figure out. And now we have a shortened week. So yeah, it'll definitely be interested. I, for one, cleared out some of my trades last week to get some cash on hand. So we'll see what happens. I probably got a little bit more cash than I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll figure out how the week goes and either see what happens if there is any legitimacy to the emergency approval, if like the stay at homes get hit. And then if not, if there's a sell off on Wednesday, looking for just good opportunity buys.
Yeah, man. I mean, having too much cash is a good problem to have. You know, if that's going to be your biggest problem, I think you're doing all right. So, I mean, you know, just looking for some of those opportunities and grabbing in on some dips. I think that's definitely the plan. See a couple people that are saying the same things, that they're waiting to pull on some of the Amazon trigger and yeah, Amazon too, but don't forget some of the other ones. We're going to get into that when we get into our top stocks for this week. But Amazon's obviously the top of the list, but there's plenty of other ones too. We're going to talk about those in a little bit. Lewis Collins, thanks for the donate, bro. Appreciate the 10 euro donation. Thanks so much for that. What's that?
Pounds.
Oh, is it pound? No, it's not. Is it in euros?
Yeah, that's pounds.
All right. Well, whatever. Euros, pounds, whatever. Thanks for the 10 units of currency from wherever region you're from. Come on, man. Yeah. I feel like I need a ESPN, you know, Monday Night Football, the come on, man. I feel like I need a soundbite to that too. We got to come up with some fresh ones.
That for sure.
We need some fresh ones. But yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much what's going to be happening this week. I don't think that there's going to be any kind of crazy movements. We did see that the UK is actually planning on pushing through the Pfizer vaccine probably before the U.S. does. So it'll be interesting to see if they do and how effective that is and how they end up carrying that out. Really interested to see how that plays out for them and how it might impact some of the other pharma stocks moving forward, especially if they start to kind of break ahead and create some distance between them and some of their other competitors as far as the vaccine's concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. And what we've had pretty much now every week, a company for the past 3 weeks has announced 95% efficacy.
Yeah.
And I know they work together. So, I'm actually surprised. Well, I don't know if I'm surprised we haven't heard anything from J&J because they're typically a little bit more conservative.
Yeah.
And they like to have things buttoned up. But I like that as kind of an outside play as things move forward. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But like we've mentioned the past 2 weeks, there's still a long way to go. And even with the emergency vaccine, all that stuff sounds good, but there's just a long way to go. And these are opportunities. If there's dips on stuff like Zoom, Peloton, any of your other solid stay-at-home plays, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I am actually a little bit surprised we haven't heard anything from J&J, but it seems to be the theme of this whole thing for the last month or so has been that we're seeing news come out on Monday. So maybe tomorrow we'll see some news out of J&J or maybe something more positive out of one of the other ones as well. But it just seems to be that trend. We'll see if that trend sticks tomorrow. But speaking of which, you know, with the holidays coming up, we talked about Black Friday, we talked about Cyber Monday already, and some of the things that we're looking at potentially. Let's get some more specific. The top 5 stocks that we're watching this week. That Fat Man Zoom was so emphatically excited about getting to right out of the gates is what we're going to get to right now. And for me, we don't have a whole lot of earnings plays left. Earnings season is officially over. There's a couple of them that are going to be sporadic here and there. One of them in particular that I like is Dick's Sporting Goods. They absolutely smashed earnings last time around. Expected earnings per share for them was last quarter was actually only about $1.29. They came in at $3.21 last time around. Now, I don't expect them to blow earnings out of the water that much this time around, but I do expect them to beat pretty handily, specifically because we've seen retail make such a huge comeback. And Dick's, yes, they are in retail, but they have catered to a lot of the outdoor living crowd. And we talked about how camping and RVs and stuff like that were absolutely phenomenal as far as sales were concerned. And Dick's definitely benefited from that as well. But Dick's also benefits from the retail side of things. We saw Under Armour see a huge uptick in sales, and we saw Nike also, which Dick's sells their products. Here's the other thing, Fat Man Zoom. I don't know if you've really thought about this, but you may have. We've seen a lot more people, and especially in the area that you live in and being in hospitality, businesses trying to take efforts to have more comfortable outdoor areas, especially when it comes to just being in the service sector. If you want to hang outside or what have you, Solo Stove, they are a company that provides it's like an outdoor, I don't know what you want to call it, outdoor fireplace, and it's like an outdoor bonfire thing. It's interesting. It's like a stainless steel or whatever. You see these all over the place in breweries, wineries, and even outdoor bars and that sort of thing. And it is interesting to see how much in demand this actually is. Dick's has sold out of them. They are on back order till December 21st as the farthest. So we're seeing a lot of these outdoor products still being high in demand because of the Rona. And I think that we're going to see accelerated growth with Dick's. My estimated earnings per share at $1.43 compared to 98 cents is what the estimates are concerned. And I think that Dick's is going to be something that we see make a huge move going into the end of the year.
Oh, you're going conservative, bro.
I mean, it's 50%.
I got $2.69. Steve
right.
King, what you got to say? Because I can't see. This is definitely a bold prediction, but I don't see why they wouldn't perform better this month as well. Yeah. And kind of to your point, I didn't think about that, but yeah, those Solo Stoves, with a lot of these rollbacks, you're going to see people having to buy more of this stuff.
Yeah.
So demand's going to remain high over the next few months. And that bodes really well for them. Here in Maryland, we're back to 25% indoor capacity, and we got a lot of things set up. So this bodes well for most states, especially the states that are high COVID cases, which tend to be urban areas, urban centers. So I agree with you. Now, here's another thing to think about. And I was trying to pull it. I couldn't find the article, but I seen the article. Nike, you mentioned Under Armour. Nike had cut a part of their e-commerce growth strategy last quarter. Actually, they've been doing it for over a year, but last quarter they ended their partnership with a lot of their big retailers.
Yeah.
And one of them, Dick's, stayed. I believe Dick's was one of them that stayed. So this also bodes well because not as many retailers are going to have Nike as before. So you either go direct to consumer, directly to Nike, or Dick's, I would imagine, could see some increase as well in traffic for Nike products. So I think that bodes well for Dick's. I feel really good about these earnings. I think they're going to do really well.
Yeah. One thing to just kind of one additional thing that I'll say, if you guys aren't sold on the kind of demand that we're still seeing from outdoor living products, the CEO from Solo Stove said they were seeing 100% year-over-year growth, but when the pandemic hit, they saw an immediate acceleration of growth and said that they've seen upwards of over 300% this year since the pandemic hit. And I think that we're going to continue to see accelerated growth. The fact that they're having trouble just keeping up. I'm not just talking about these stoves specifically, but just outdoor living in general. And this is where Dick's really kind of shines. REI, all those other ones as well. We like this a lot. If you're looking at the chart here, $60, I think, is where we start to see this move up, and it probably makes a huge move on this thing. They have earnings, again, Tuesday pre-market, estimated earnings per share, $1.98. And we think that they beat pretty handily. So look for that $60 mark. If we break up over that, we should start to make moves towards those all-time highs. I think if they blow earnings out of the water like they did last quarter, we should see all-time highs out of Dick's pretty handily.
Absolutely. Next one we got number 2, John Deere. All right, John Deere, ticker symbol DE. Earnings Wednesday Wednesday pre-market, November 25th. Their estimated earnings per share are $1.39. And I have them coming in at 228, Brad. Here's the thing, kind of like home improvement. It's the same deal. People are at home doing home projects, working on their yard, landscaping. I think this is a great opportunity for John Deere. And by all accounts, what they're saying is demand's really high for their products. So I think that homeowners that want new products, and then people who have maybe had something out in their shed and it's time to rotate and get upgrade, right? Because they're using it more. So demand's really high. If you compare, if they beat year over year, this is going to be epic, bro. So if we look at the earnings, so oh shoot, hold on, sorry, I did the wrong one. So Deer Park's earnings, Deer Park,
it's John Deere.
Sorry, Deer Park. Deer Park water. Also drink your Deer Park water. John Deere. I would say they blew out earnings last quarter.
Yeah.
Estimated was $1.26. They did $2.57. Now, if we look last year and we compare the two quarters, so they came in at 271 last year, so 257 quarter for quarter last quarter, all right, compared to last year. Right. So they did a little bit less. But they typically do better the following quarter. So the November quarter, they typically do better than the August quarter. So if they can do $2, which they typically, I'm sorry, they didn't, let me get that correctly. So they do slightly less, but if they can do $2, which they did $2.14, that'll be 3 quarters in a row with $2 a share, which is really bullish for this company. So, I feel really good about John Deere. I think they come in at 228, and that means they beat quarter over quarter last year. I think this thing's gonna make a really nice move. I think this is a sleeper stock, and if you look at the daily chart, it's a nice trending chart over time. So may not be Zoom type blow it out of the water, but I think it's going to be a nice steady winner, and I think we could see a nice move up towards the end of the year.
Well, I mean, hey, since the end of October, it's moved about 25-30% just about. So it's definitely continued to make nice steady moves, and really not that many red days to speak of. And when there are red days, it's not like it's a huge drop off and anything to really worry about. It's funny that you mentioned 214. I had earnings per share coming at 213. And so I think that you're absolutely right about everything. The one thing that I would add to this is we've seen an increase in car sales, right? And what's the reason for that? Why have we seen an increase in car sales? One of them is because, people aren't too keen on taking mass transit anymore. You know what the other one is?
What's that?
People are moving out of the cities and they're moving in the suburbs.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So you're moving in the suburbs. Not only do you need a car, but you need to mow your grass now. You have a lawn. So I think that we're going to see a huge increase in sales as far as John Deere products are concerned. Also, not only are you going to need to mow your lawn, but you're also going to need a snowblower to blow out your driveway as well. So there's definitely a lot of catalysts that are moving in a great direction for John Deere. I think that they do crush earnings as well. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, these are stuff that we don't really talk about a whole lot, but these are sneaky little stocks, bro, between like Dick's and John Deere, stuff like that. You probably won't see these talked about on too many other channels, but they're definitely ones that you guys need to keep your eyes on for those reasons.
Yep.
So next for me, not related to earnings, but it's Amazon. And I put Amazon on the list, but I really wanted to just say all of e-commerce. We saw a huge move out of Shopify on Friday. We saw some huge moves out of Etsy as well. Amazon has lagged behind that move a little bit, which is why I wanted to kind of bring Amazon to the forefront, but it's really all of e-commerce at this point. And looking at Amazon, we've always said that 3,100 was a really solid support for it, and it still remains that solid support for Amazon right now. I think that they will have a banner quarter this quarter because of the increase in cases and some of the lockdowns and people worried or thinking about maybe not even having a Christmas in person, but maybe doing it virtually and then sending their loved ones gifts via Amazon or Etsy or Shopify or what have you. So I think that Amazon's going to, it's only a matter of time. This feels like it's a ticking time bomb to the upside. And I think that we have a really strong melt up with Amazon. I know that we are about a month and a week out from the new year. I said 4,000 was going to be my estimate as to where Amazon could get to. I still think it's possible.
Your guns.
I still think it's possible. And
right.
you know, I'm not going to deviate from this. So, 4,000 is still my target for Amazon. Maybe we get close, maybe we don't, but I just don't see a scenario in which this stays down here at these levels for too much longer. And if you've been waiting for your opportune time, I don't know if you're going to have a whole lot more time to wait for Amazon to come down below 3,000.
So, Brad, I did some digging and I have a really interesting piece of information for you all. So, I'm going to quiz you. I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay.
Amazon went public in 1997.
Yes.
All right. And I went through all of the earnings and I looked at the January quarter. So they reported earnings in October. So the next earnings are going to be in January. So first quarter of the following year. I want you to just guess. So you have 1997 to 2000.
Yeah.
2020. I looked at January and I looked at the previous quarter. Can you tell me when the last time the previous quarter, January did not beat the previous quarter? Take a wild guess. What year?
So ask that again, because I was a little bit.
So we just had earnings. So next
Right.
January, the question is, are they going to beat or not? So I'm thinking, are they going to beat? So I look back and can you tell me the last time when January did not exceed the earnings per share of the previous quarter?
Oh gosh. I mean, it probably would have had to been in the 90s. Cause I mean, that's the only time that I was thinking of, like when their main focus was kind of books before they they started to expand on everything else. That would probably be my guess.
So 2001,
Close.
2001, 19 years ago. And they actually, they didn't do worse. They just did the same number. They reported the same earnings. So that means for essentially 19 years, quarter one of the year was better than the previous quarter. Last quarter was a record-setting quarter.
Yeah.
The quarter before that was a record-setting quarter in history, right?
Yeah.
So this year should be a record-setting quarter. And if they pull out that number, I mean, $13, $14 a share, it's going to be insane. So the move's going to happen before that. And that's the reason why I'm saying it. We're far from earnings the end of January, but we got to think about that because what we've been saying is holiday season's ramping up. Amazon is so easy to use. I don't care about online pharmacy. Yeah, that's nice. That's great. But everything else they're doing is enough for anybody to be bullish on this company. They have huge opportunity with Whole Foods market share, and the ease of use doesn't matter if you hate Amazon or not, or big business. They make it easier than any other company. It's not even close.
Yep.
You can even return products to Whole Food now. Literally, you just bring in your product and you just put it in the locker. You go right to the desk and they'll take care of it for you. So anyways, if they just had a record-setting quarter and they always beat the following quarter, I mean, we're getting another record-setting quarter. So I agree with you on that 4,000. Might not come right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, it's going to be really close to that earnings.
I think so too, man. I don't see a scenario in which Amazon doesn't have some crazy move. There's a reason they call it the Santa Claus rally. Amazon is a huge part of that. And there's no reason to believe that it isn't a part of it this time around either.
Yeah, absolutely. What are we looking at the chart?
So as far as Amazon's chart's concerned, like we talked about, like I was saying in the beginning of this topic, was 3,100 really seemed like it was a really good area for support. That's right where it closed at on Friday. Didn't really have much movement. Now, to our point that we were talking about earlier during the show was that, it might be a little bit of a slow week. It might be. There's a pretty good chance. So this might give you an opportunity to kind of work your way into Amazon in this low $3,000 range. And really, at this point, I don't really have a pinpoint price targets as far as where I think there would be a good opportunity to get in, just get in this low $3,000 range. Don't give yourself a specific number. I think just dollar cost average, you're averaging your way in here just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I see. For us, 3,200 under 3,200 has been a buy.
Yeah.
Under 3,000 is a strong buy. It's kind of a no brainer.
Yeah.
It's trying to stay above that 3,200, and hopefully, 3,500 should be a thing of the past when it makes that move. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But it should be exciting for Amazon. This is going to move.
Yeah.
I'm just ready for it. Anyways,
Me too.
speaking of big movers, number 4 is Zoom. So Zoom has earnings, not this week, but the following Monday. And I wanted to put it on for this Stock Watch Sunday because next week's going to be too late. So let's first talk about any potential dips. If there's any news, I think we kind of know the story about a temporary dip. That's a buy opportunity in my opinion.
Yep.
But right now, I know people were antsy about the move it made. It made a great move last week. Here's the thing, but it made a move off of a 20% downturn. So it hasn't even made up those losses.
Yep.
In a way, I think this is a great opportunity going into earnings. And if you see a dip this week, get in on it. Or I would get in on it. But here's what I'll say. 76, they report Monday after hours on November 30th, 76 cents a share. I'm saying $1.33, and I think that's conservative.
Ooh.
$1.33 a share. Let's rewind back to the last earnings.
Yeah.
Massive growth, 300% growth. You're going to see that growth again. To me, when Zoom's going to slow down or when it's going to adjust or correct is next year, like later next year when it can't match the year-over-year growth. So we've got probably about 6 months more of bullish patterns in Zoom. So expect more massive growth. And when you think about their guidance that they gave from last quarter for this earnings coming up, they thought we'd be further along. And so they built it in, not anticipating the rollback. And so to me, I think that they're grossly underestimating and they were really conservative. So I think they blow it out of the water. I think we see more massive growth. We've said this before. So look for international exposure. I think you see more and more international exposure. Healthcare, education. These are underserved and Zoom is putting a huge focus on it. Education, they're not even going to monetize until this thing is over. So that's a whole nother boom that they have. And they're only scratching the surface on healthcare. Zoom has huge potential. I know it's made like nearly a 500% move this year. I don't care. It's basically had growth of like 5 years over the course of this whole lockdown. So I think it makes sense, the growth that it's shown. I'm still really bullish on it. And I think that it does not belong below $500 today.
Yeah. I mean, so for Zoom, it's one of these things where you look for potential dips on vaccine news. Investors, particularly in the retail space, have this in their brain that, the second we have positive vaccine news and it starts to get distributed, that Zoom becomes no longer relevant. And I think that is just one of the biggest mistakes that you could make with Zoom, to a lot of the points that you brought up. The thing of it is that I've used a lot of references about cats, but I'm going to use this one. You can't put toothpaste back in the tube once you got it out. So with remote work, it's the same thing. Remote work is here to stay. And I think to a certain extent, we're going to see accelerated growth in remote learning as well, especially in the college side of things and in primary school as well. But I'm thinking that we see a lot more of this in the college space too. And with Zoom, you bring up some really good points as far as, the potential growth and that they're not even monetizing it with schools and that sort of thing. But my thing is that the product itself is so much more superior than any of their competitors. And yes, that includes Microsoft Teams. It still baffles me that you hear football players and other professional players in the NFL talking about how they've been having Zoom meetings when Microsoft is the key sponsor for the NFL and they're supposed to be using Teams. So, I mean, what kind of volumes does that speak to you as far as the value of the product? So Zoom is going to continue to roll here. if you guys who are in the level 2 crew for the Chaos crew, you saw that I sold Auto Zoom. Obviously, it was a little bit too premature, but I was trying to hedge myself on anticipating this pullback, because if we see any kind of Johnson & Johnson news, we'll probably see a pullback from Zoom. But I still think that that's very much in the works. Fat Man Zoom actually brought that up as well for potential dips. But those are really good opportunities. We think that Zoom gets to $600 a share. It is a $600 stock. And so for me, I'm just trying to play a little bit of cat and mouse. Got a little bit too cute this week, but I'm still very much bullish on this thing. We look at the chart right now. It closed at 439, 440 area, and that is actually its resistance, 440. And then if it can break up over that 462, 463 area would be another area of resistance for it. It's pretty much clear skies once it gets up over 440, that sustained move. For supports, where should you make an entry? Well, for me, I'm looking here around 410, 403, 404. So if we see some sort of positive news as far as COVID's concerned, expect Zoom to fall back down. That's where I would end up scooping some more up and then waiting for that boom, because we think that there'll probably be a huge move leading up into earnings this week, particularly within the end of the week. Now, keep in mind, obviously, we're closed on Thanksgiving. There's a half a day on Friday, so the stock market will only be open until 1 o'clock. I think those are going to be some good opportunities to maybe scoop up some Zoom on the low volume that we might be seeing in the market. And yeah, I'm just super excited for Monday. I think it's going to be a huge day for them. Anything else you want to comment on?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You look like you were going to say something. Sorry.
I know.
So for me, the last one that we have on the list is Square. Now, Square is one that I think is going to continue rolls. Another one that we don't have anything as far as earnings are concerned, but Square and the relationship they have with Bitcoin, I think, is what's going to continue to propel Square moving forward. Not only that, but obviously we've talked about e-commerce already and how impactful that's going to be for this quarter. Square is a huge a benefactor of growth in small business, which we've seen, especially on the digital side of things. And then obviously, like I was saying with Bitcoin is now getting ready to approach its all-time highs that we saw back in 2017. Square not only is involved with Bitcoin, but they are directly invested in Bitcoin. They own 4,700 Bitcoins for an average price of roughly $10,600 back in early October. With Bitcoin trading nearly $18,000 today, actually, it went up over $18,000. That $50 million investment is now worth about $85 million. And that's just with them directly investing in Bitcoin. Jack Dorsey, CEO of Square, also CEO of Twitter, is huge in Bitcoin, a huge believer in them. I still don't have everything I need to know as far as Bitcoin's concerned and cryptocurrency in general, but I know that it's valuable to many people. Obviously, we see that it's continuing to grow here. So with Jack being a huge proponent of this, I think this is going to continue to elevate itself leading into the end of the year. I anticipate Square potentially getting by the end of January in the $300 range, and I don't think it's going to even be difficult for them to do that, especially if we start to see Bitcoin getting above those all-time highs that we saw in 2017.
Yeah, well, first thing is, when is Twitter and Square going to have some sort of collaboration?
That's what I've been waiting for, like how it would not be hard, especially now that they have stories and are starting to kind of compete with Instagram in that way. When are they going to, really capitalize on small business in a digital space is what I'm waiting for, man.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm a PayPal guy.
Yeah.
I'm starting to come over to Square. I have no issues with Square. I think either one you're great with.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I still lean towards PayPal. However, I will say that so they announced recently the launch of their kitchen display units, and I broke this down in one of our live streams, where essentially you have a POS system. So when you go into like a restaurant or a carry out, the register, they ring you in. Well, if there's a kitchen, there's usually in the back another connected system which will print out the tickets, or it'll come up on a screen like you see at McDonald's. It's digital. So Square has had POS systems, but they never had something to connect to the back. So they limited themselves and they couldn't really accommodate restaurants.
Right.
Now they can. And I think without actually using it from just how they explained it and knowing their technology, I think they're going to be a market leader with this type of technology. So it's digital, it's customizable, and these units typically are not. So this is great. So I think this is sort of a reason why somebody would go with Square over other of the competitors. So I really like that. I obviously really like the Bitcoin play. My only challenge with Square is when I compare it to PayPal. PayPal has more revenue, has their margins are much better. Fundamentally, they're much better. So Square's younger, so that makes sense, but they need to bridge the gap. They need to work on the margins, profitability, because to me, they're too tight.
Yeah.
However, I think that's the only downside. Everything else I'm really bullish on. And look out for this next year. If you're a long-term holder of Square, you should be extremely ecstatic. I think they launch a credit card next year.
Oh, yeah, that would be
And
awesome.
that's what will help them get margins. Kitchen display hardware doesn't get you margins.
Right.
That will get them margins. So they basically want to take over in place of a bank. And if they can start giving loans, if they can start offering credit cards, that's the thing that's going to help those margins and get them where I need them to be. And that will happen. Now, will it happen next year? I'm not sure, but I think it will. And that's going to be huge for the company.
Yeah, I agree. And I've been in and out of Square a couple of times here with the Webull account. And you bring up some really great points, especially on the margin side of things. So I still think that they have a long way to go as far as keeping up with PayPal in that sense. But they are well on their way. You look at something like this. I just ended up getting a starter at at $199 with the Webull account in anticipation of this 200 break. Because I think once this breaks over 200 handily, a sustained break over $200, we should see a strong move on Square. And so that's what I'm kind of waiting for. Any kind of pullback on Square, either to the 192 range or even to 183. Those are going to be good opportunities for me to continue to scale in and dollar cost average in on Square, because even from here, I see 30% upside within the next, 6 to 12 months. I think it's just going to be a thing that we really see from Square, and it might even happen earlier than that. And really, I think the part that's weighing the heaviest on this right now, at least in this moment in time, is Bitcoin. So if we start to see Bitcoin continue to break those all-time highs, I think Square starts to get heavily influenced by that as well. To the point that I was saying, as far as, that they are directly invested in this as a company as well. So it just continues to add more to their net income, their net value. So those are.
So
Go ahead.
Esperanza had asked, doesn't PayPal have loans too? PayPal has loans, and PayPal just launched a credit card.
Yes.
So that's why I think Square's not too far behind. But yeah, PayPal did just do that. So you're aware.
Yeah. So, and I think it's only a matter of time, like you were saying, that Square hops on that same bandwagon. And speaking of Esperanza, aka Hope, she is part of the Chaos Crew. Which, if you are not part of the Chaos Crew, make sure that you're checking us out. Hit the join button next to subscribe, and what you'll get is a daily watch list from us, and also private live streams, and then access to our Webull account. So, if you guys are curious about how we're doing, we're actually outperforming the market right now. 17% to 6% is what the market has yielded this year. So doing really well with that. If you guys want access to that, plus our daily watch list that we put out every single day that are similar to this, but they're just a nice condensed version that we put out before the market opens, make sure you're hitting the join button. The link's also in the description if you can't find it. It just helps support the channel. We certainly would appreciate it. And that is the stocks we are watching this coming week. Fat Man Zoom.
If you're thinking about joining, now's the time, because we're doing a giveaway. We're giving away one free Tesla stock. Well, it's not free. It costs us money. But when we hit 1,000 members, which is right around the corner, we're a couple weeks away, we're going to do a raffle. One of our members is going to win a share of Tesla stock. So get in, join. If you're thinking about doing it, now's the time. You might get a free share of Tesla.
That's right. We got about 70 to go. And we will get to that 1,000 member mark, and you guys will get your free stock. So make sure you're hitting that join button. We'd love to have you guys over. And that is going to do it for the stocks to watch this week. What else we got, my man?
Question time, brother.
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So we have, sorry, I was actually just checking I want to see where we are exactly at members. All right. So 66.
Yeah.
66 away. All right. All right. Question. So first question we have is from El Jefe, Steve King. What's up, my man?
What up, bro?
Will NVIDIA dip with vaccines?
Well,
With vaccine news?
I don't know if they'll dip on vaccine news, and I'll just bring the chart back over. I was quite disappointed in how it's been acting after earnings. I actually own NVIDIA in the Webull account. I also own it in my personal long-term accounts as well, and I was really disappointed in the way this moved. I haven't given up hope in NVIDIA by a long shot. I don't know if it really gets impacted by the vaccines, to be honest with you. If anything, I would think that it would do better on vaccine news. I don't know if it really is all that impacted on whether or not we get vaccine news in general.
Christian Schutz. What's going on, Christian? What do you think of Fisker?
Fisker, FSR. I think that we've talked about Fisker for quite some time now, pre-merger. I've been one that has said that, Fisker was one that I think if there's one that's going to compete with Tesla in this space, that it probably would be Fisker because of the amount of experience that Henrik Fisker has in this space. He's given it a shot once already before with the Fisker Karma, which in my opinion is probably one of the sexiest EV cars that we have seen come out of this in the last 20 years. But they ended up failing. They went bankrupt. And so giving it another shot here, I guess, obviously, since everything's been hot in the EV sector, Henrik Fisker is a world-renowned car designer. He's designed cars for Aston Martin, a lot of the other luxury brands as well. He's got the Fisker Ocean, which is in its concept right now. Potential partnerships with Volkswagen. We haven't really gotten any real word as whether or not they're for sure going to go through with this. We've seen that Volkswagen was on board, then they weren't on board. Now it seems as that they might be on board again. We'll see. But I think that if there's any of these companies that have a shot at kind of being in this space, it's probably Fisker. But be careful because they're going to need to probably dilute this at some point. And we've already seen some really strong moves, but just expect that we're probably seeing an offering or two come up in Fisker because they're going to need funds to continue to keep this operation going. So just be careful with that because once those offerings show up, it's going to get kind of ugly, but those would be opportunities that I would maybe look to get into Fisker. I think it's a little bit high to get into at this point.
All right, next question is from Dale Wilmer. I looked into Palantir this weekend. Their balance sheet was outstanding. What do you think about their current share price, PLTR?
Balance sheet is outstanding. The company is outstanding. They've actually been around for around 20 years, but recently IPO'd this year, and we said that they were a great company. We were pretty emphatic on anybody looking at this and thinking about getting in that we thought that under $10 a share was a steal for this, thought that was going to be a buy. Sure enough, it's gone up nearly 100% since we called it out as a buy. It's too high at this point. Wait for some sort of pullback. I think that it'll happen. We also have lockup period to worry about too in the coming months. So just make sure that you have that in mind. I would say that if you're looking for a pullback, maybe let it come back to the $16 range. But it is a bit high at this point, in my opinion. Over the last couple of weeks, it's just gone absolutely crazy.
Okay, next question is Intellectual Reads. I know everybody talks about e-commerce, but nobody talks about the shipping companies like UPS and FedEx that is delivering for all of the e-commerce. Apparently, Intellectual Reads doesn't follow our channel because we talk about UPS and FedEx all the time.
All the damn time. UPS and FedEx are going to do really well. We talked about this being a banner quarter for e-commerce, and this is going to be a good quarter for UPS and FedEx as well. Let's not forget, too, not just because of e-commerce, my friend, but also for the delivery of the said vaccines as well. Another revenue driver for these shipping companies, too.
But I would agree that not many people are talking about it, and it's a sleeper when it comes to this e-commerce stuff.
For sure.
Melissa H., well, let me ask you this question. Do you have a favorite between UPS and FedEx?
That's a good question. As far as the company is concerned, I like UPS better than FedEx. As far as the stock's concerned, it seems as if FedEx has the more volatile, more stronger moves. But if I'm going to put my money into something, it's probably going to be UPS.
All right. Next question. Melissa H. What's going on with Facebook? It's been just chilling around support.
Facebook's been in some hot water with Congress, and this is what's kind of been keeping investors away from it temporarily. But don't let this fool you. Facebook being down at these levels, I think, are buy levels. Look for this to come back down to settle around a support where it's sitting at right now in the high 260s. Back when it was down in 250s, we were screaming at people to buy this thing. And then it ran up near $300 again before Congress started to weigh in on them some even more. So I think that it's just going to be another bump on the road for Facebook, and these areas would be clear buys for me.
Yeah, and as long as my name's Fat Man Zoom, I believe in Facebook. So the only time you need to be worried, Melissa, is when I change my name to like Batman Zoom or something like that. Then maybe you need to be afraid.
Or Ratman Zoom for Rocket.
Ratman Zoom, Rocket. Baba's more likely.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Rocket's more likely.
I was gonna say Ratman Zoom.
Kind, what's going on? Be kind. I never hear you talk about level 2. Do you ever use it? I don't know if that was mentioned to us, but we go ahead and talk about level 2.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what level 2 is, it's basically, the orders that get placed before they get filled. It allows you to kind of have access to that. So if your brokerage, Webull does have level 2 as well. You won't be able to see it here because nothing's being actively traded, but, it's just another tool that you can use. I used to use level 2 until I realized how easily manipulated it actually can be. And instead of focusing on that to really determine, whether or not I felt as if prices were going to have tough times getting up over certain levels, I just ignored it altogether. It's so easily manipulated. And what I mean by that is, let's just say that I am a billionaire or I'm a hedge fund or institution, what have you, and I want to try to influence, people trying, I want to influence the stock by not allowing it to go up over certain points. So I'm going to take my a bunch of money. And, if I'm already in the stock, I'm going to take a bunch of it and put it in on the ask price at a certain level. And it's going to be so much money that people who actually do rely on level 2 are going to look at that and be like, you know what, this stock isn't going anywhere. Some idiot has millions of shares sitting here, and it's going to take a while for buyers to eat that position up before the stock actually gets moving. So then they just sell. And so they influence the market that way. Same thing can happen the other direction too. So for me personally, I think that level 2, while it can be useful to some, and some might argue that with me, I think it just can be so easily manipulated that I just don't even bother paying attention to it anymore and just strictly look at the chart. I'm looking at my supports and resistances. I'm not paying attention to level 2 at all.
Was that a question about Chaos Crew?
No,
sorry.
Level 2.
Gotcha. Okay, got it. That's why I was confused. I was thinking of level 2, the Chaos Crew, but they're talking about level 2. Okay, now I got it.
I got you.
Jesus. Joseph, what do you? Oh, wait, this is really funny. Shane Haley, this is hilarious. Rocket is the Lamar Jackson of stocks. Lots of potential, but frustrating and disappointing lately.
Ain't that the truth?
Joseph, do you think Regeneron is a good play right now? It's super low and just got FDA approval for its COVID drug.
I think it's gonna have a huge run on tomorrow, but I think that you might have missed the boat on that particular catalyst. If you wanted to get on Regeneron before that happened, then you should have bought into it last week, my opinion.
Next question is about Baba. Front Battles asks, what about Baba? What about Baba?
What about it?
I did really well on Baba this week.
Yeah.
And I explained my thought process before getting into it. I looked at, I'm already in Amazon, but I had been waiting to get back in, I was waiting to add to my position. And I was looking at it and I was like, well, if Amazon gets to 4,000, that's a 25% move up. And at the time it was like Baba at 250. Well, how realistic could Baba get to 300? And that's a 20% move up. And in my mind, I was like, I think Baba could get to 300 quicker than Amazon could get to 4K. I've always loved Baba. I would take Amazon before it, but it made sense for the move and it did move. I'm still in it because I don't think the move's done. I'm a huge fan of Baba.
I don't think the move's done either. And real quick before we forget, Blair, is it Karachi? Thanks for the donate. Thanks for the donate. Certainly appreciate that. $20 to the Chaos channel. Thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. But
it's Karachi.
It is. I was going to say Karachi. Anyways, looking at Baba, this thing I think still has plenty of room to run. If you're looking at the chart here, it probably won't meet a solid resistance until it gets to 282. Once it breaks through that, I think that's when we'll start to see a strong move towards 300. But yeah, same thing. I agree. It didn't even move when Singles Day came and went, and I think that there's just going to be this point to where, and I think we achieved that bottom at the 250 range. We've been talking about that all last week. That it's just going to continue to roll here. It got to levels to where it just seemed absolutely silly for people to be selling down in that area. And so it's going to continue to roll here, in my opinion, as well.
If what my strategy is for Baba is because I got into it at 250, like maybe 252. I'm waiting for the Ant IPO to be approved. So Alibaba has a 30% stake in the Ant IPO. It got suspended. I don't think there's going to be an issue with it actually going through. That's why Baba initially dipped. So I'm actually going to hold until that news comes out either way.
Yeah.
So that's just consider that front battles because that news should, if it does go through, it should move nicely.
That's a good call.
Nathan Bishop, love your videos. Unlike any other YouTubers, you actually teach people and care where they put their money.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
BUTube, what's going on, BooTube? You see Win and other casino stocks dropping this week with the new restrictions out in Nevada.
I doubt it. I mean, I think if we do, it won't be anything all that impactful. I think we're in vaccine mode at this point. People are just investors are in vaccine mode. They see what's happening 6 months from now, and I think that's why people are going to be buying it up at this point.
Blair Karachi, Fat Man Zoom, please take some profits this week and buy something for that fireplace. It looks naked. Should I start a GoFundMe for me? Blair, listen. I open up my home to you people and I put myself out there. I want to see some of your guys' homes. Let's see how it looks. I agree with you. I'm looking for big ass candles that I want to put in there, like those big tall ones.
Like those big boner candles?
Yes, boner candles coming soon to a store near you.
Listen, we've had a lot of people asking about those, and people have been hitting me up in my DMs. We got to get on that, bro. People are about it.
I got a meeting about it tomorrow.
Awesome.
So my hope is that by next Sunday, we'll be able to take orders for the boner candles.
So if you guys don't, for people who don't know, can you share it with them?
Yeah. So there is so I live in Fells Point, downtown Baltimore, and there is a local small business right next door to me. Her name, it's called Zelda Zen, and this is a Ruth Bader Ginsburg candle that they make. But she makes all different kind of candles. She has one that says "Wear the damn mask," like that Governor Hogan line. But anyways, this is local, so we're gonna get one. They're going to customize one for Own the Chaos, and it's going to be just boner. So it's going to be a boner candle. It's going to be green. So we're going to get it green. And then it's going to be a scent. We don't know what fragrance it'll be, but we're going to have Own the Chaos boner candles. And more importantly, it's really just to support small businesses. So I was having a conversation with her. And when I say it's a one-woman operation, it's a one-woman operation.
Yeah.
She basically said her custom candles, is the only reason her doors stayed open during this lockdown. It's the only thing that's keeping her doors open. So I thought, what a great way to support a local business, sell candles, and all the profits would go to supporting her and hopefully helping her get a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah. And so just so you guys know, none of the proceeds are going to go towards us. It's all going to go towards her. But it's just supporting small business, right? That's what we're here for. Obviously, we're here to try to support the channel and support you guys, but we also want to give back in that way too. I saw somebody said when we get them, we should light them anytime we see a boner candle. I think we should light them in hopes, almost kind of like willing a boner candle to happen. We light it when we want to see them. So
yes, it'll be exactly any earnings reaction, we light it, and then if there's no boner, we just blow it out.
Right.
Boner. I like boner. Boner is Boner one of them. You know what movie that's from?
Oh, what movie?
Boner.
What movie is that from?
Boner, one of them. Oh, come on, man. I'll give you another, the second part of that. It's Pitching a Tent, Rigor Mortis, Purple-headed yogurt slinger.
Is that 40-year-old version?
No, it's oh my God, Varsity Blues.
Oh,
Varsity Blues.
yeah. Varsity. Yeah.
All right.
Forgot.
Oh, I love that dog. Wangers on the glass at the Elias Club. No good. Sorry. If I start quoting Varsity Blues, it'll be all day.
Oh God, don't even get him started on Hitch.
Josh Collins. We got two more. What do you guys think about Overstock OSTK? It's still down on its last month run to 80. Pulled back like crazy with vaccine use, and it's rebounding slowly with Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'm a believer.
Me too. And we talked about Etsy and Shopify and all the other ones. Overstock's going to be in there too. I can't believe I just did. You hear that?
No.
Did you hear how I said Overstock? I literally had the Baltimore. I was.
Oh no, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, it was Overstock coin. But Overstock is going to be one that I think will continue to roll to. All these e-commerce ones, it's only a matter of time before these all pop. Vaccine or no vaccine, this quarter particularly, it's going to have a really strong move.
You want some more cheese with that wine? The one Lee. Have you looked into Planet 13? PLNHF.
I have
Earnings
looked.
come out Tuesday. They're opening up their old store in Vegas. Revenues have been going up, and they will be opening a new store in Santa Ana next year.
Planet 13. I have not looked into Planet 13. Isn't this one, I feel as if I've heard a lot of people talking about this is one that Jeremy from Financial Education is in. But for me personally, no, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to really give an opinion. If I'm looking at the chart though, look for this to maybe break up above $4. It seems to be a resistance for it. We see a sustained move up over that. Over the last, I would say, couple of months, it's had a really nice trending move up. So yeah, I mean, it looks good, but I don't have a whole lot to go off of as far as the fundamentals of the company is concerned.
So a couple of things that people don't know what it is. It's a cannabis company based in Vegas, the world's largest dispensary. And it's Motley Fool. I don't know if Motley Fool calls it this, but in the article it says it's the Disneyland of cannabis.
Well, okay then. That's probably why Jeremy likes it, because he lives in that area. He lives in Arizona.
And he smokes a lot of pot.
Listen, if he does, God, Jeremy reminds me. He's probably on the crack more so, or the cocaine more so than the weed. But
yeah, I know we don't.
Dude, is super
we
hyper.
haven't had any members. That's interesting. I gotta believe there's some people here who want to be friends with us.
Yeah. So
hey, listen, you get a Friday live stream, Karaoke Fridays. I sing you a song. We hang out. Kumbaya. It's beautiful.
That's right. Yeah. If you guys want to be part of the Chaos Crew, you have not been part of it yet. We have 550 viewers in here. I'm sure there's at least one or two of you that are not part of the Chaos Crew. You get a daily watch list from us. It goes out by 8:30 every morning. Kind of gives you a snapshot of the overall market, some things to look at. After all, there are thousands and thousands of stocks to look at. So wouldn't you want it narrowed down to quite a few? I think you would. So come join the Chaos Crew for $4.99 a month. You get that plus private live streams and helpful tips videos too. And then for the level 2 Chaos Crew folks, it's just an extra $5. It's $9.99 a month. You get access to the Webull portfolio that is outperforming the market quite handily, I might add. And you get to see what's in there. And I also update you daily on that as well. So you guys want to be a part of that, help support the channel. We certainly would appreciate it. Hitting the join button next to subscribe. Also, link is in the description as well. And I see a donate from Scan. Agile says, I want to know when does investors like mutual funds react to earnings? 9:30 to 4 p.m. or after hours PM as well. It's usually pretty instant, Scan. Thanks for the donate, by the way. Appreciate it. But usually when earnings come out, the reaction is pretty instant. And then the reaction kind of carries on throughout the rest of the day. So if you see something in pre-market, usually you see it actually reacting in pre-market. Then once the rest of the market opens up, you know, there might be some profit taking, or there might be some accelerated buying because you got so many people that want to get in on that stock as well. So initial reactions, pre-market, and then after market opens, you'll see some more action that way too. But that's how it usually ends up going.
Anton, shout out. My bad. We did miss you. Become a member. Welcome to the crew.
Oh, did we? I don't know if I even saw
it. Might have been before the live stream, which we need to do a better job of.
Oh no, there it is. I see it. I just scrolled up.
Is it? Oh, it was here?
Yep. That's our bad, bro. We were just so lost in it.
Do we not have the oh hell yes?
No, I took him out because I thought they were a little distracting. But I should bring him in. Bring him back.
What? We need to vote. When you make these big decisions like that, you need to vote on this.
They were
type of
distracting
thing.
because every time, because at that point, now that we're simulcasting on Twitch, by the way, hello, Twitch people. Now that we're simulcasting on Twitch, anytime somebody joins us on Twitch, it gives us this crazy notification that I can't turn off. So I had to turn off all the notifications, but I'll work on fixing that.
Or just turn off Twitch.
Hey,
Hey, you 6 people. Come on over. Come on over to YouTube. I need the oh hell yeah back. Am I right? YouTube.
He's such
am I
a
right?
hater of
Come
Twitch,
on.
I
Who's
swear.
behind me? Alan said, Big C needs a boner candle. Fat Man Zoom knows what I mean. Listen, I love Big C, and I agree. No stock other than Rocket deserves a boner candle more than the Big C.
That's right. It would just only be fitting.
So if we didn't answer your question, if we missed it, there's a lot we have to go over. So we try our best to answer as many questions as we can. Go to stockwatchsunday.com. On the top, there's a button that's ask a question. We'll get to your question there. So go ahead and submit that question. It'll email me and we'll get an answer to you within 24 hours. So if we didn't get to your question, feel free to reach out. Give us some context. Let us know if you're in the stock, if you're thinking about getting in, entries, why you're liking it, whatnot. And Esperanza loves Big C too.
I knew she was going to.
Neo is legit. We'll talk more about Neo because I have some other thoughts on Neo as well. I've always been kind of like, or lately I've been like coming over to Neo. I might be coming over some more. So
yeah, we got
talk about that.
We're actually going to be coming out with a video of our favorite EV stocks that aren't named Tesla. And that's one of our pre-recorded quote unquote videos that we're planning on putting out in the very near future. So be on the lookout for that. I'm sure Neo will be in there. I did provide the link for stockwatchsunday.com in the chat. If you guys want to check that out, you can also donate to the channel through there as well. If you guys want to do that, we're also doing some really cool things with stockwatchsunday.com. So go check it out. If you guys want to just get on the email list, we certainly would appreciate you guys going on over there as well.
So what is your cheesecloth condom pick of the week?
I don't have one.
You give them a Percocet, 2 Vicodin, a couple of beers, and the panties drop. Nice. Hey, you want to see the new Tweeter end zone dance? What's it called? It's called the new Tweeter end zone dance. I'm done. Lastly, we have football.
Yes.
So we have tonight the Chiefs and the Raiders, I believe.
Yes.
And then tomorrow we have the Rams and the Buccaneers.
Yes. Both are going to be good games. And the Bucks and the Chiefs play next week too. They play at 4:15. That'll be a good ass game.
That'll be an interesting game.
Yeah.
What's the chances of Antonio Brown ending the season with the Bucks? So the last game the Bucks play, Antonio Brown will be on the field that game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like a 10% chance. That dude cannot get out of his own way.
He can't, and he hasn't really been performing all that well either. I mean, just on field, he hasn't been doing well. So it'd be one thing if he was just like freaking lighting it up like old AB, but he just hasn't been doing that.
Well, I don't worry about that. That's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
And what a time! But Monday Night Football would be a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still stuck at the panties drop. Yeah, those are all great Varsity Blues lines. I have about 27 more of them.
Nope. We're good. They don't need any more.
Come on, you guys want one more? One more? Tell me you want one more. So which is your game? Which one you want to pick?
I will pick Bucks and Rams. Do you think the Raiders can sweep the Chiefs?
Can the Raiders sweep the Chiefs? Yes, they can. Will they? No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Did the Ravens play the Pats last week?
Yeah, they lost in that freaking monsoon.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
So we both got that wrong.
Yeah.
And so which one are you picking? Pick one of the games.
So I'll pick Bucks and Rams. I don't know where they're playing.
I think they're playing in LA.
I thought they were. I'm going to take Rams. And I'm going to take Rams, and it's going to be close, but I'll take Rams minus 3.5. And they're not going to lose by more than 3.5. Or they're not going to win by more than 3.5, I should say.
Well, give me a score.
All right.
Play
So
total score.
Score is going to be 24-27 Rams.
Oh, nice. I think the Bucks are due for a loss. So I think that's a good pick. I'm going to take the Chiefs over the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think it's going to be 35-21. I don't even think it's going to be close.
Yeah. I just feel like the Rams defense has just been, nobody's really been talking about them, but they've been really good. And I mean, they've had a couple of games where they just got smoked, but I think they were just one-offs. But they've been really good. Jalen Ramsey, just the way he shut down DK a couple weeks ago was just unreal. So I just think that they're gonna. To your point, I think that the Bucks are due, and I think the Rams are gonna surprise everybody.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Hopefully, it'll be a good game. I think that's it, bro.
All right. Well, guys, again, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. We always see the huge drop-off when we start talking about sports. But we appreciate you guys hanging out. We always just like talking about all kinds of shit. So if you guys are interested in talking about all kinds of shit, make sure you're hitting the join button because you'll just be able to talk with us even more and join the Chaos Crew. We certainly would appreciate it. On our road to 1,000, then you get entered in for your free Tesla stock. Whatever Tesla is trading at when we hit 1,000, that's how much you will be getting towards your free Tesla stock. So hit the join button. Come on over. Hang out with us. We appreciate you. And come back and join us next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. If this is your first time hanging out in Stock Watch Sunday, we certainly would appreciate the thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We will see you guys Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be going live again just to talk about the market. What the hell's going on? And that's it. Anything else, Fat Man Zoom?
My love.
See, you're giving
There's only you in my life.
Oh my God.
The only thing that's right.